All right, cool. Cool. We're back. 3, 2, 1. What up? Technical difficulty still, or are we good? Let's see, let's see. Mic check 1, 2. All right. All right. What up, guys? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. So, I mean, a lot's happened. 324, the first Paramount card with all the ads. Cheap pricing. I love the new Paramount subscription deal. It's like $9 a month or some shit. Perfect. But let's look at the walkouts and let's look at the cornering. It's really that simple, guys. It's that simple. But I wanted to talk about Paddy Pimblett getting turned into a smash burger. He got turned into mincemeat against Gaethje. I think Paddy would have looked way better if he lost to Arman. His reputation wouldn't have been demolished. Because Arman is the true #1 contender. Getting beat by Gaethje, out of prime 37-year-old Gaethje, looks way worse on your resume than losing to Arman. No one's giving Dan Hooker shit for losing to Arman. Paddy's the worst thing on earth for losing to Gaethje, and rightfully so. He was talking all this shit, saying Arman doesn't deserve to be in my spot. Arman ain't #1. All right. Arman's generational media run, we got to talk about that. I don't think it's a UFC tactic. That some people actually think that it's a UFC tactic to shelf fighters, give them bad treatment so the fans rally behind them. That is bullshit. That's bullshit. That's just the fans. That's like saying, that's just how much the fans voice themselves. Thinking that the UFC purposely mistreats fighters so they can get promotion out of it or build that fighter up is insane. That's like saying UFC mistreated Aspinall. That way all the fans rallied behind him and made a petition. The UFC didn't want that petition being signed to strip John Jones, you know? I think it's just how loud the fans' voices and opinions are in MMA. It's just that simple. Fans create the stars. That's the facts. What's up, everyone? What's up? Fans create the stars. You know, Paddy, kind of a UFC fabricated star. Arman, an organic star, right? Topuria can be a star. He really can be. He just doesn't fight enough. He just thinks he's a little more than he is, you know? If he actually wanted to build his brand more and fight more and let the people know who he is, he'd be a huge star. But I feel like more people know who Paddy Pimblett is than Ilia Topuria if we're talking about casuals. Topuria's a great fighter, but he's not living up to the potential. He could be a huge star. And then we got to talk about, you know, that viral video I made going around. Daniel Cormier's good guy image is a lie. Everyone seems to agree with me. It is rare that everyone in the MMA world can collectively agree on some shit. Everyone agrees with me on this shit. I am glad I made that video. I'm the only one that called DC out on that. I don't think anyone in the MMA world's ever talked about that video of DC pushing down a little girl. Of DC bragging about the time he pushed down a little girl for picking on his son. And I knew about that, but I was just waiting for the right time to drop it. And when I saw DC lie about the fighter pay and say that everyone is getting paid more, the fighter at the top of the card and the fighter at the bottom of the card are all getting paid more because of Paramount, that was my foot in the door. That was the perfect convo starter that led into DC's true character and his true colors. But yeah, everyone agrees with that video. That's insane. You know, everyone collectively agrees. So yeah, hopefully check it out if you haven't seen it. DC, Daniel Cormier's good guy image is a lie. And the video wasn't just about Justin Gaethje's pay. I made that video. People think they think I'm feeling sorry for Justin Gaethje's pay. I don't feel sorry for anybody who makes more in one fight than most people do in a year. It was just about the fact DC lied, and that was the perfect foot in the door to talk about DC's shady character and bring up even worse shit that he's done. Because it's been driving people insane. He's got a real good PR team because no one's really talked about DC's shady character. And thank God John Jones is his rival. That makes DC look like a decent civilian when he's not, you know? But yeah, I would say, man, the UFC should have listened to me. It should have been Paddy versus Arman. Paddy's stock would not have dropped as bad because he would have lost to Arman. It would have been humiliating still. It would have been awesome to see. Arman deserved to beat it. What I'm trying to say is Arman deserved to put that whooping on Paddy, not Gaethje. But congrats to Gaethje, but Arman deserved to put that ass whooping on Paddy. And I think all the fighters that are trashing Paddy Pimblett, hold up. 1 second. I think all the fighters that are trashing Paddy Pimblett, they're in the right here. They're in the right. They're definitely in the right. But yeah, Dan Hooker went at Paddy Pimblett. Everyone went at Paddy Pimblett. Like, everyone's going after the guy. Some think it's undeserved. Not me. I'll be right back. OBS changed my title. Man, I had a fire title on this live. I had a fire title on this live. Let me go fix this title real quick. It captured my old title. Are you kidding me? My title was UFC 325, Daniel Cormier's fake, Arman's iconic media run, or Arman's iconic media tour, and fighters trashing Paddy Pimblett. That's insane. Let me try to fix this title real quick. That's insane. Whoa. We're not talking about this old shit. We're not talking about this old shit. We're talking about 325, not 324. Well, I guess that gives more people to join the chat anyway. Interesting. Alright, let me fix this technical difficulty. Let's see if the third time's a charm. Holy shit. Damn. I gotta stream more. Got a little rusty there. Setting it up. I think we got the right title now. Pulled up my old title. Alright, alright. Thank God. Do I got the title right, guys? 325. Daniel Cormier's fake. Arman's iconic media tour. And fighters trashing Paddy Pimblett. That's what we're talking about. And I was like, what the fuck? Why is the 324 title up here? You know? Okay. Honestly. How many streams did I just do in the last 5 minutes? Does this all say it's been one long stream? Or is this counted as like 5 different streams? This better be counted as one big stream here. Not like 5 different ones. Alright, good. One stream. What up, guys? What up? Wow. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to talk about, first, 325. What are the predictions for that? I think I'm picking Diego Lopes. And I'm picking BSD. The other fights are 50-50 fights for sure. Maybe the main event's a 50-50. I mean, it's close. It's close. Volk's the better fighter, but Diego holds the advantage everywhere else. And, isn't it crazy? Last time I talked to you guys on a live stream, Paddy Pimblett was like up here. His stock, at least he thought his stock was up here. We all knew Arman would smoke him, but until we seen with our own very eyes how bad Gaethje did him. I mean, Gaethje just beat him pillar to post. See, Paddy, you should have called for the #1 contender. I know the UFC's protecting you, but that just makes fans hate you. You got to call out the #1 contender. Call out the UFC next time. If you're in Paddy Pimblett's position and you suck and you're getting promoted and they're giving you easy fights, old Chandler, old Bobby Green, Justin Gaethje at his worst, you got to be like, no, UFC, I want Arman. Tweet about it. Hey, give me Arman. Give me the best. Fans are saying Gaethje is this. They're saying Gaethje's that, you know? They're saying I'm a terrible nightmare style for Gaethje. So give me Arman. He should have said give me Arman. And the ass whooping wouldn't have been like this humiliating. Because Dan Hooker got whooped by Arman. We're not giving Dan Hooker shit. Because we know Arman is legit. He's the #1 contender. Him versus Ilia is a pick'em. But the fact that Paddy lost to Gaethje towards the end of his career, a 37-year-old Gaethje, you know, primes are weird. It's not just because Gaethje's older. It's about how he looks, right? People say Gaethje looked way faster in the past. Like around COVID time. What's up? What's up? What's up, Mini Beans? What's up, John Dong? How's it going? What is going on, guys? I mean, like I said, there's a lot I didn't talk about with you guys yet. Arman's generational, iconic media run. What do you guys think about that? I think it's amazing. I knew Arman was going to be a star back in June. Around International Fight Week. I said it should be Arman versus Ilia. I've been on the Arman bandwagon for a minute. Not just after he took down MMA Guru 50 times. I've been on the Arman bandwagon since summer. I've been clamoring. Arman versus Paddy, let's see it. They're the two young up-and-coming prospects. Well, Paddy, that's what you get for choosing the old Gaethje instead of the in-the-prime Arman. I swear, Paddy's stock, if he got whooped by Arman, which he would have, his stock would have dropped just a little bit. But the fact that he got whooped by Gaethje, his stock just fell to the floor. I swear, going back, I bet Paddy would be like, you know what? I would rather have lost to Arman. At least he's the legit #1 contender. Gaethje is the 4th best in that division. So that's why Paddy's getting so much shit. For acting like he's better than Arman and like he stands a chance with Ilia. And acting like he didn't lose to Jared Gordon. And acting like everyone always moves the goalpost. Which isn't true. You know, saying all your opponents are 37 years old is not moving the goalpost, Paddy. What fight in the next few weeks are you looking forward to the most? I'm very hyped for Strickland versus Fluffy. Oh, hell yeah, Strickland versus Fluffy? Are you kidding me? That's a great one. You know what? I got to pull up the fights. I mean, obviously, Charles versus Max, that's going to be a fun one for the BMF. That's a BMF type fight. Strickland versus Fluffy is the next big fight. Because after 325, is this an Apex card? They're going back to the Apex. A shit Apex card after 325. So yeah, so far it's Strickland Fluffy. I'm with you. Is there anything else pretty spicy on that card? No. They always put Strickland on bad cards. I think they're fighting in Houston, Texas, right? That's a cool place to fight. I'm surprised that card's not stacked. And I was going to go with Strickland in that pick. In my pick, I was going to go with Strickland. I think I'm going Fluffy now. I just saw footage of Strickland sparring Michelle Pereira. It didn't look good. It didn't look good. Wow, is Strickland versus Fluffy really the biggest fight in these next coming weeks? That's crazy. That's crazy. Where's their big fight? The next big fight after Strickland versus Fluffy is Charles versus Max. So, I would say Charles versus Max, even though it's not till March 7th. That's insane. My birthday's March 8th. That's my birthday weekend. I would say Adesanya versus Pyfer is cool too. That's March 28th. Honestly, guys, I don't want to spoil the parade, but there's not many big fights after 325. There's only 2 that are on the UFC calendar. Like big fights. Holloway versus Oliveira. I know his name, guys, trust me. And Strickland versus Fluffy. I'm hyped for Strickland Fluffy, though. Yeah. What are the predictions for that fight? I think style-wise, Strickland does pose some problems. But damn. I think Fluffy's just doing better. Like, the results are there. Just look at their last few fights and tell me who looks more impressive. And look at that sparring Strickland did with Michelle Pereira. That looked kind of sloppy. I mean, in the midst of the exchanges, I think Fluffy's going to be looking for double underhooks, body locks. Even if he can't take Strickland down and Strickland keeps popping back up, Fluffy's going to be the aggressor here. I think this fight comes down to who's the aggressor. And yeah. Yeah. I'm very surprised there's so many events. Actually, hold up. February, you know, we got 3 events in February. But 2 of them are not that good. The Moreno fight card, is that in Mexico? Yeah. Like, Bobby Green's just sandwiched in this UFC Fight Night Mexico card. That's very strange. I would just scratch that Apex card and put all those good fights on the UFC Mexico card. But yeah. Weird that there's no pay-per-view in February. Very strange that they're waiting until my birthday weekend to put on a pay-per-view. And it's not even for an official title. I love Max versus Charles, but that's not even for the official belt. So, the next UFC title fight isn't even on the UFC calendar yet. What's up, bro? Lock this in. Lopes, BSD, Fiziev, Tuivasa, all W's. I think this hits. Yeah, that heavyweight fight is a really risky fight. Tuivasa can definitely snap his win streak. Because, what's his name? Teixeira. Talisan Teixeira. He doesn't have a chin. And he doesn't hit as hard. I mean, he only knocked out Justin Tafa with an elbow. Everyone's elbow is hard, so can he punch hard? Yeah. I think those are very good picks. Volk versus Lopes, that's a pick'em. I think BSD's the right pick. I think that's the most clear pick. Fiziev versus Rufy, I think that's going to decision. I think that's going to be a very tit-for-tat fight. You know, I don't think Fiziev can put him out, but I think Fiziev can win. And I for sure know that Tuivasa versus Talisan Teixeira, that's got to be ended in a KO. I think that's really going to be in a KO. People forget, man, Bryce was eating Ilia's punches. He was. Bryce was eating Ilia's punches. Hey, Bryce isn't bad. Bryce isn't bad. He actually did very good against Topuria. He did pretty damn good. He did better than Volk. That's crazy. You just made me have an epiphany. Bryce did better against Ilia than Volk. And obviously Volk is a better fighter than Bryce. But it's just amazing how styles make matchups. I want to see Bryce versus the other Topuria. Let's see it. Bryce versus Alejandro Topuria. I think there's rumors of that going on. Am I tripping? I think there's rumors floating around about Bryce versus Topuria. Topuria's big brother from the smaller weight class. Yeah, Fiziev. That's all I got for this card. But let's fucking go Lopes. Hey, I don't want to pick against your picks. Look, if I had to put money, if I had to bet on it, I'm going Lopes. But, like always, I'm rooting for the other. I'm rooting for Volk. You know? Where's the promotion for this card? If I was Volk, I'd be fuming right now. I took short notice fights. I mean, I defended my belt. I stepped up weight class, gave Islam a hell of a run, a hell of a fight. And they're not promoting me? Whoa, what the hell's up with that? And they're trying to get me killed against Lopes? I bet if Volk wins, they're just going to give him Lopes again. Lopes just needs to win one more fight. And then it'll be Lopes versus Volk number 3. And then if Volk beats him again, Lopes just has to go out there and win one more fight. And then it'll be Volk versus Lopes 4. They're just going to keep making Volk rematch Diego Lopes till Lopes wins. I think it's because Volk has an obvious flaw. And when he's getting pressured or punched, he pulls his head back straight. And Ilia, being as good as a boxer as he is, noticed it and capitalized. Yes, absolutely. Volk's very good at sticking and moving. But once Ilia Topuria got past that barrier, got past the reach, and he was in Volk's grill, Volk had his chin up in the air. Absolutely. Once Ilia Topuria got in his grill, it was just left hook, right hook, left hook, right hook. Yeah. I think Ilia wins that fight. He's just a horrible style for Volk with that boxing. Volk doesn't have the power like Ilia does. I think Volk should have mixed in some takedowns. Now that I think about it, Volk shoots takedowns on everybody, basically. Yair. He even shot some on Lopes early in the fight, right? If you could take down Lopes, I'm sure you could take down Ilia. Very surprised. Why didn't Volk take down Ilia, now that I think about it? Just watch the Strickland versus Michel Pereira sparring clip. Looks like a movie fight scene. It looked like they were throwing a lot. It did. Not a lot landed, but they were throwing. And I know it's just sparring. But it looked like Michel Pereira was landing better shots than Strickland. If you watch it, it looked like Michel Pereira was backing up Sean. It's because they want a Mexican champ, I know. They're just too desperately trying to have that happen. You could want a Mexican champ, that's fine. But don't look desperate trying to achieve that, you know? We all know the fans wanted to see Volk face a new challenge, a new puzzle. We wanted Volk versus Lerone Murphy. You know? There's an excuse to not have it be Masvidal. Oh, he's not active. Fair, fair. But Lerone Murphy is. It's all good, though. It's all good. Funny watching that versus his other sparring clips where he beats up people with no experience. I know, he just whoops everybody with no experience. But when he fights a UFC fighter like Pereira or Alex Pereira, Michel Pereira, he's just average. He's just average. I don't know what it is. Why does Sean Strickland need to knock out these bums? It'll never happen. I don't think he'll ever throw as much as he does in sparring in an actual fight. Where was that against Dreykus the second time, right? Yeah, it's very interesting. I hope Fluffy makes it a brawl. I want to see what Sean Strickland's really got. Fluffy, take him down, rinse and repeat. Throw your little dirty boxing combinations, whatever. But Fluffy's a weird guy. Have you guys seen his interview with Ariel Helwani? I wouldn't say he's weird. I would just say, man, I think he's got issues. What was it about that interview where I was like, something's off with this guy? Like Fluffy, I don't mind swearing, but this guy says fuck more than Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz combined. Every 2 words, Fluffy's like, fuck this, fuck that. Apparently he doesn't care about anything in life. I swear. I think he needs help. Strickland beats Fluffy. Hey, you know, Strickland beat Israel. The dude is tough. Strickland's good. Strickland's tough. But Adesanya didn't throw at all. It was so weird. And Izzy is on a kind of on a decline. We'll find out in the Joe Pyfer fight. But to be fair, that looked like Izzy. Something was wrong with Izzy. Even Sean Strickland said, it felt like I was sparring an amateur. Strickland was like, I can't even believe this is the guy with all these knockout highlight reels. It felt like I was sparring an amateur. So I feel like the Fluffy fight will be like 5 times more difficult than that Izzy fight. Dude, I was thinking about this a few days ago, but I hate it when people drop the F-bomb in every other sentence. Yeah, like I don't mind it. But when you hear Fluffy do it, it's like, damn, it just stands out so much. The occasional swearing is fine. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. And the only one I really noticed that with is Fluffy. I think Fluffy needs help. If you watch that Ariel Helwani, Anthony Fluffy Hernandez interview, I'm like, what the hell? This guy needs some counseling. He needs some therapy. Maybe Strickland as well. They're going to fight for the therapy belt. Winner gets a free full-time therapist. Strickland versus Hernandez. You know what? They should do a face-to-face interview with Sean Strickland and Hernandez. I really want to see them talk face-to-face. They both got issues. They both got problems. They both talk like a sailor, but they're different. So, yeah. I'm going with Joe Pyfer all the way. Yeah, that's going to be a good fight. That's a good fight. Joe Pyfer. He's got basic combinations. But Izzy, he's been backing up a lot. He hasn't been really hurting anybody lately. I'll have to predict that fight when it comes. But as far as Strickland versus Fluffy, I'm going Fluffy Hernandez right now. Even though Strickland seems like he's the king of fight nights. I mean, his biggest wins are from fight nights. Strickland can't win on a numbered event to save his life unless it's Izzy. I swear, I think Strickland beat Imavov on a fight night. He got robbed against Jared Cannonier on a fight night. Looked good, though. He beat Abus Magomedov during a fight night. Strickland's the king of winning fight night main events. This is going to be interesting. I don't know how familiar you are with MMA YouTubers, but MMA Shay is a popular YouTuber. I heard of him. I never watched, but I heard of him. And he says fuck in every other sentence. I stopped watching his lives because of that. It got so annoying. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I swear, but sometimes, you know, I like to switch up my vocabulary here and there. But yeah, you got to switch up your swear words a little bit. Instead of saying F this, switch it up. Switch it up. It's on members only. But in his latest live, there's a segment where he says fuck 5 times in 10 seconds. That was impressive. Wow, he's giving Fluffy Hernandez a run for his money. All right. Well, if they do a face-off or a face-to-face interview, Strickland and Hernandez, we need to do a shot every time Strickland says, here's the thing, guys. And we need to do a shot every time Fluffy Hernandez says fuck. Or if you're not a drinker, that's fine. You got to take a puff every time Strickland says, here's the thing, guys. And every time Fluffy says fuck. Watch them not have a face-to-face interview with Strickland and Fluffy. Watch them botch that one. You know? I think they'll botch that one, but it's all good. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. So now that Paddy got his ass whooped, I mean, what does everyone think about Arman's media run going? Or his legendary media tour? Arman stole all the shine even before Paddy lost. More people were talking about Arman during fight week than Paddy. Roofy will get roughed up and Fluffy will get fluffed up. Oh shit, yes. Roofy is gonna look like he got roofied, huh? If he gets KO'd. I think that fight will go to decision, but yeah, he'll get roughed up. Fizie's fast. And Fluffy will get I know what roughed up is. What is fluffed up? What does getting fluffed up look like? He's gonna look fat? Would you rather see... Who would you guys rather have win in fight Hamzat? And is the winner of Strickland versus Fluffy gonna skip the title shot? Are they gonna skip the queue and get a title shot instead of Imavov? I really think winner of Strickland versus Fluffy can jump the line and fight Hamzat. Because I don't know why they haven't announced Hamzat versus Imavov yet. Both of them, their last fight was forever ago. I mean, Hamzat fought in August. And Imavov fought recently after that. Like, he fought in the fall. So, I'm just like, why aren't they booking this fight? Khamzat doesn't want to fight. What's going on here? It seems like neither of them want to. It seems like Khamzat doesn't want to fight Imavov. That's so weird. It looks like Dean Thomas was right, you know? Khamzat is not a good champion. He's not. I mean, where's his fights? He took no damage in his fight. Where's his fight? I see Khamzat, you know, getting in fights backstage, whatever. He said his foot was hurt. I heard it all, but he just doesn't fight. Even if Khamzat's injured, I think Khamzat should fight because he has such an advantage over everyone in that weight division. It's not even funny. If they all stand no chance against you, just line them up. Line them up, bro. But yeah, after this weekend, I can't believe how much Paddy Pimblett's stock dropped. I'm happy for Arman's media tour. I just wish Arman was the one to smoke Paddy. Arman deserved to beat up Paddy. He really did. Khamzat versus... I'm guessing you mean Poatan? You want Khamzat versus Pereira. Now, I mean, no one wants that fight because everyone just envisions Khamzat holding down Pereira and humping his leg. So I don't blame people for not wanting to see that fight. Plus, Khamzat didn't even defend his belt. Even though there's not a lot of interesting matchups unless Fluffy wins. Or they do that Imavov fight. You know what? I don't mind that fight. I wanted to see it a while ago. But I think Alex Pereira has bigger fish to fry. Now, we just talked about Paddy Pimblett's stock dropping. Khamzat, you know, he kind of lost some aura. He lost that I kill you aura. I really thought Khamzat was like evil Habib, but even more vicious on the ground. Turns out, everyone's more vicious on the ground than Khamzat. Arman, Islam, Habib, when they get top control, they rain down finishing strikes. Khamzat doesn't do that. I want Khamzat versus Fluffy if he beats Strickland. I agree. That'd be good. Khamzat versus Imavov isn't interesting in my opinion because Imavov got taken down by Brendan Allen. Imagine what Khamzat does. Right. Imagine what Khamzat does. I'm sure Imavov knows what he's doing. Like, I'm sure he's got good takedown defense. He's trained with Khamzat. He knows some of his moves. But yeah. No one's going to pick Imavov to win that. Nobody. You know what? I think this is a weird hot take, but I think the person with the best shot of beating Khamzat at 185 is if Kamaru Usman moves up and fights Khamzat at middleweight. That was a close fight when they fought. It was a 3-rounder though. I don't want to see Islam versus Usman. I'd rather see Usman versus Khamzat because he put up a good fight. And there's no one else that could really put up a good fight against Khamzat. Gaethje versus Topuria. That's the same situation that Khamzat's in. No one would pick Gaethje to beat Topuria. That's the problem here. We got to figure something out here. We got to book Arman versus Topuria. I mean, we got to put banana peels around the Fighter Hotel on fight week. Hopefully Gaethje slips on one. Because if Topuria doesn't fight often and he takes a year off between fights, I don't want to see Ilia Topuria sleep someone in one round again. I want to see Topuria go to the later rounds, at least round 3. At least round 4. I mean, if we book Gaethje versus Topuria, Topuria is most likely going to sleep him in round 1. And then guess what? We got to wait a whole nother year to watch Topuria fight again. Fuck that. If Topuria fights, I want him to go to the championship rounds. He's never even been to the championship rounds. And there's only one way you could drag Topuria to deep waters. It's he fights Islam or Arman. And the Arman one is more realistic. Okay? If Topuria can get past Arman Sarukian, then now we're talking. Now we're talking you deserve an Islam fight. But yeah, I hope they don't book Gaethje versus Topuria. Please, Arman, put banana peels all around the fighter hotel. Whatever you got to do. Hopefully Gaethje slips on one, gets injured, and then Arman can just sneak into the octagon and fight Ilia. Arman will be backup no matter what. Arman has no problem being backup fighter every fight. Who should Gene Silva fight next? I made a video, next fights to make after UFC 324. And this is how I made the featherweight fights. This is how I did featherweight. I booked Gene Silva versus Aljamain Sterling. So Gene Silva versus Aljo. And then I want to see Arnold Allen versus Yair Rodriguez. Now, honestly, Gene Silva could fight Yair or Aljo. I would rather see Gene Silva fight someone with some accolades like Aljo. Let me know, you guys. Should Gene Silva fight Aljo or Yair? I would rather see him fight Aljo. I want to see him versus Yair or Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia, I think Gene Silva's got bigger matchups on the table. Yair's a good one, though, too. What about Silva versus Aljo? Hope you're doing well, homie. How are you? How you doing, Nathan? What's up? What's up, man? Haven't chatted in a while since the last Fight Companion. It's good to be back on the live streams. I got to pick it up more. You know, I think the Fight Companions got me back into the live streaming. I needed the fights to get back in the groove. I'm doing good, though, bro. Training a lot. Training, man. Been lifting, too. I'm getting strong. If Topuria doesn't fight at the White House, he will be stripped of his title. That's a lose-lose for everybody. We need Topuria to fight Arman. Okay? Okay. Here's how I look at it. Topuria wants to be McGregor. He doesn't have many UFC fights left. He wants to hit it and quit it. He wants to get rich, then get out and do boxing. Okay. So, if Topuria only has, let's say, 2 to 3 fights left, let's end it with Arman and then Islam. I'm just stone playing UFC 5 right now. How do you like UFC 5 compared to the other ones? Like, is the speed, does it feel good, or is the timing good? Do you like the grappling or what? Is the grappling easy, or do you just strike? When I play UFC, or I played a few times, I like to knock people out with volume. Like jab them up, then set up the power punch. I like to play with my food in UFC. But yeah, that's a good combo right now. What if Gaethje added 60 to 70 leg kicks to Paddy? Oh my God. Oh my God. Paddy would be in a wheelchair for 2 months. But he didn't even need to. He probably didn't want to hurt his shins. He might have had shin splints. Who knows? But damn. I mean, the overhands, the hooks. Gaethje deserves all the praise in the world for beating Paddy. I just wish Arman was the guy that got to beat up Paddy. Because we don't want Gaethje versus Ilia. Where does Gaethje fit into all this? I have no idea. I have no idea. Gaethje honestly doesn't even fit in this division anymore. I don't know. He should only be fighting for BMF titles. He should only be finishing trilogies. I think that's where Gaethje fits into all this. Finish your trilogy with Max, redeem your loss against Charles, or fight Poirier, have him come out of retirement. I don't know. But just redeem your losses. I don't think I need to see Gaethje against new opponents like Ilia. I just went to war with this guy. He was Rose, I was Blanchfield. Oh, you're doing the women's division. Okay. You know, I feel like Rose would be a good fighter in the women's division on UFC. You know? Because Rose is kind of rangy for that weight class, right? Yeah. Rose is rangy. UFC 5 is fun as hell. It's so clean. The best one. Is that right? That's what's up. Now, do you do the grappling at all or nah? No grappling? Like, would you take someone down and get a submission? Or is that bitch shit? Like that hit. 420. Hey, it'll be 420 before you know it. It's 420 every day for some people. Shit. I gotta say, you know, that's the best way to recover after training. Blaze one up. Like, I had it set to all weight classes. And it paired us in women's flyweight. But yeah. Oh, okay. So it just randomly picked you. Okay, it randomly picked the weight class. You're playing online. Yeah, I'm well-rounded. I can grapple really good. But I usually keep it standing. Alright. As long as you know your escapes and all that stuff too, right? You gotta know your escapes. That's what's up. That's what's up. UFC's fun though, man. I like to beat people up with volume and then hit them with that knockout blow. Play with my food. My striking is really good. Freeze people with feints. Oh, you're throwing the feints? Is that like the right pad stick, or how do you do the feint? Up pad? Side pad? That's what's up. The main thing is you can't gas yourself out, right? You can't gas yourself out in UFC. Then your chin is 0. You just got to make sure you keep your energy. I like to bounce in and out, you know? Get in, strike, then get out of dodge. Max Holloway style. Yeah, feints are important. That's what's up. That's what's up. I'm sure do they take too much energy or no? They don't use up energy. Speaking of feints, hey, that's what Volk's got to do, guys. Volk's got to hit Diego Lopes with those feints. Because I feel like Diego Lopes is going to be charging after Volk. He's going to be running at him full throttle. Yup. Hey, speaking of feints, shit. Did you guys see Cameron Smotherman fainting after he weighed in on the scales? On the last card? Right behind Michael Bisping? Was that a coincidence or was that staged? Like, Michael Bisping was like, you know what? I don't feel sorry for these guys. It was the 324 weigh-ins. You got to make weight. Next thing you know, Cameron Smotherman faints and falls on his fucking face right behind Bisping. You couldn't have scripted that better. See if I missed anything. Lopes will crash the Volkswagen. That's one way to put it. Okay. Hey, that's a good way to put it. Man, it sucks because I usually vote anytime I have a pick, like I pick unbiasedly now, but I'm always rooting for the other guy. Like my favorite fighters I always think are going to lose. That happening on air is so brutal, him falling. That was tough. That was crazy. I mean, what are we going to do about these weight cuts? We need to hydrate test everybody. We need to make people like stay at a certain weight. Like they can't cut a certain percentage of their body weight. Did anyone see my Daniel Cormier video that I just dropped? That's my most viewed video so far. Daniel Cormier's good guy image is a lie. If you did see it, what do you guys think of that video? What do you guys think of that? Of that take? UFC 5 is so addicting. Like fighting people online. I play it every day. It is fun, bro. Is that your favorite game right now? That's what's up. Does anyone like stream playing that on Twitch and all that or no? But yeah, I mean, especially if I blaze one, I am in that flow state playing UFC. I don't have the game though. I play it at my friend Zach's. But I don't have the game. I wish I had it, but maybe it's a good thing I don't have UFC 5 because I'd probably be playing that every damn day too. Who would my favorite fighter be on there? I feel like, yeah, the strikers. I'm really good at like point fighting in that game. You really don't even need to throw all your power. Just all those volume shots add up. And then you eventually rock them. And then you got to be patient. I have 3 primary main games, all tied as my number 1. UFC 5, Black Ops 7, and this other one. Alright. And the other one. It's the secret, the other one. Okay. You ever thought about streaming playing the games or nah? Just play for your own enjoyment. Let's see here. What else did I include on my thumbnail? Oh, yeah. Arman, Paddy, 325, and DC. Who is the oldest fighter that's still in that game? Like, do they have any retired fighters in UFC 5 right now? Or is everyone in that game currently active? Like, is John Jones in that game? Is Conor McGregor in that game? You know what you should do? You should do Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Do they got them in there? Let's see how that one plays out. But you can't go wrong with Black Ops. Man, I miss zombies. Diego Lopes is a zombie. Damn, you got to hit that guy with a fucking bat to put him out. Yeah, all those guys are in the game, of course. Hey, I said Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison, but yeah, all those guys are in the game. All right, good. Because, you know, there's like some semi-retired fighters that aren't really retired, but yeah. Okay. You know what? The best division to play in that game is lightweight. Lightweight is always the best division to play in that game. The way Yuri fights in real life is how I use him in the game online. That's how I always did it. However that fighter fights, I try to fight like that fighter. If they're a point fighter, I point fight. If they're a knockout artist, I just try to do power punches even if I exhaust myself, you know? If they're a grappler, I'll mix in a takedown here and there. Yeah, I like to fight how they do in real life. That's what's up. UFC 5. Alright, so what's the big fights we're looking for here? Bantamweight is my favorite. If someone picks O'Malley, you need Jan to shut him down. Oh yeah, Jan can get the job done. Yo, what's up, brother? Greetings from Atlanta. God bless you, yo. What's up, brother? What's up? Atlanta, Georgia in the house. How's it going? How's it going? We got Georgia in the house, you know. Not Marab and Ilia's Georgia. We got the state of Georgia. Everything's going good. Thanks for joining the chat, everybody. I wanted to know, what do you guys think about Arman? Is he a superstar now? Speaking of Georgia, is Arman, the guy who was born in Georgia, is he a superstar now? Shout out to Atlanta, Gucci Mane. Oh yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of Atlanta rappers. I feel like Detroit and Atlanta have it on lock as far as music. Just subbed. Hope you're having a great week, man. Appreciate you subbing, man. Appreciate that a lot. I'm having a great week. Is tomorrow already... Is tomorrow Friday already? What the fuck? Damn, this week flew by. Just like the stream. Appreciate that a lot. That is awesome, man. Shit, it is winter here in the Midwest. I'm freezing. I wish I was near Atlanta right now. I'd be driving straight to Florida right now, heading out to the beach. That's what's up. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I'm going to start live streaming more. Took a little layoff of live streaming during the holidays, but I'm back at it like a bad habit. You know, I'll pick Bilal as a troll in that game, and then I'll just box with the guy and outbox him. It's so funny. Oh yeah, you'll be Bilal? And just put him up against the fence like you did Sean Brady? Yeah, Bilal's got a melon head. Yo, it's cold as fuck down here. It's been 20 degrees at night. Damn. Alright, alright. That's still better than what I got here. It's like, with the wind chill, it's like fucking... What is it? Wow. It is -3 degrees right now. Damn. I'll also be streaming UFC 325. I mean, I got to. We got back-to-back numbered cards here. Hope you're good, bro, at Nathan. Yeah, Nate's always in the chat. Nathan's always in the chat. He's always saying some cool shit in the chat. Keeping the convo alive. Bilal's OP in that game, not gonna lie. Damn. Yeah, he's probably got a crazy chin, huh? That's what's up. Who else is my favorite fighter in that game? I think I'm just always playing in the lightweight division. There's no way Nate's in that game. There's no way Diaz is still in there, right? Diaz isn't in. Is Tony in there? There's no way Tony... Is Tony Ferguson still in the lightweight on UFC 5? I'm sure they got rid of him. Which is crazy. I always used to play with Tony. And Nate. But yeah, who else is OP? I mean... I wonder what that heavyweight division looks like in UFC 5. You don't have Ngannou. It's probably Aspinall, Jones, Salsa Boy. Okay. Oh, everyone is in it. Oh, shit. Okay. You could be retired. Okay. Okay. Everyone's in it. Everyone's in it. Did y'all see how Ty looked on the scale at the live weigh-in show just now? He made weight, but his muscle definition is gone. You could really see it. Yeah, like the past few years, he's been eating like Paddy Pimblett. I think he blew up to over 300 pounds. Then he just started slimming down. But it looks like he must have had a dirty bulk. Wow, no muscle definition, huh? Just flab? Just flab, huh? I swear, I think Tai Tuivasa trains at Planet Fitness. I don't think he trains at a legit gym. I swear, I always see clips of him training at like a Anytime Fitness. With like average, regular people around him. Like doing the ropes and shit. I don't know how serious Tai Tuivasa takes training. But I do know everyone wants to see him do a shoey. Everyone wants to see him do that shoey. Now, Talisan Teixeira, I don't know if I believe him, but he said he'll do a shoey if he beats Tai. I don't think I believe Teixeira, Talisan Teixeira, that he's going to do a shoey. That's fucking crazy. Would anyone do like a real shoey? I mean, that's some wild shit, man. That's some wild shit. I know damn well I would never drink a beer that someone spit in. I'll tell you that. And as far as drinking a beer out of a shoe, it can't be some random stranger's shoe that I'm drinking the beer out of. I mean, Tai Tuivasa's fucking crazy. You know? I'm surprised he hasn't been hospitalized by that shit. Shoeys are fucked. Yeah. Bro, they're fucking crazy. I mean, wow. Tai Tuivasa has been conditioning his immune system forever. His immune system must be fucked up or strong as hell and has a tolerance. I'm like, damn. But yeah, get the beers ready for Tai Tuivasa. When I'm streaming this, if Tuivasa wins, I'm going to have a big beer right here. And I'm going to have to shotgun it if Tai Tuivasa wins. How about that? I'm going to shotgun a beer if Tai Tuivasa wins. You know, you can't just have Tai Tuivasa winning by KO. That fight's ending in KO, by the way. You know, on either side, someone's getting knocked out. But if Tuivasa does win, you got to do a fucking shotgun. You know, just for the culture. But yeah, shoeys are fucked. I thought Tuivasa was going to be good at some point. Like right before COVID, he was on a tear. And then he started winning again. He started knocking out Greg Hardy. He started doing good, then he just fell off. But hey, we'll see. It's the heavyweight division. We'll see. Man. So, Paddy Pimblett is not the talk of the town in the UFC anymore. That's fucking crazy. That happened so quick. That happened so quick. I feel like... I'm surprised... I feel like Paddy Pimblett would be someone to do a shoey. I don't know why. Scousers. Does anyone have a crazier post-win celebration than Tai Tuivasa? Like, name another crazy post-win celebration. There's shoeys. What else is there? Paddy Pimblett, he does this before the fight. Who does celebrations after they win? Like signature celebrations. You know, like Jones did the Trump dance before and shit, but no one has a iconic celebration like a shoey. You know? Gaethje and Chandler did the backflips every time he won, right? Gaethje sometimes does that. When Izzy wins, he humps Paulo Costa. He assaults Paulo Costa. Oh my god. But yeah, I gotta say Tai Tuivasa has the most iconic post-fight celebration. It'll be so hard to top an upset like Gaethje, having Ilia up against the fence and sleeping him like Cap slept Royval. It'll be hard to top an upset like Gaethje having Ilia. Oh my god. No one can even picture that. I feel like that's so far-fetched for Gaethje to do. I just think Ilia's too crisp, too sharp, too fast. I think he beats Gaethje. I think everyone thinks that's crazy. Do we actually think Ilia's going to fight Gaethje? I feel like Arman is such a big name now. Fuck the interim belt. That belt, that's a 5th place belt. Or that was a 4th place belt. Let's be honest. Gaethje and Paddy last weekend were fighting for 4th place. Gaethje can definitely do it, but he has no business winning that fight. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, like that last Paddy versus Gaethje, they were fighting for 4th place. Like Ilia's champ, he's number 1. Then Arman. And then Max Holloway. Max beat Gaethje, and we all know he beats Paddy. Then Gaethje just won. Now, Paddy might not even be the 5th best fighter in this weight class. Who do you guys want to see Pimblett fight next? We all want to see Arman Ilia. I think Paddy Pimblett, maybe he should fight the loser of Benoit versus Hooker. Or if Hooker wins, I think if Hooker wins, Paddy can fight Hooker. But if Benoit loses, then maybe Paddy versus Benoit. We got France versus England. You know, but Arman, speaking of Gaethje in the lightweight division, Arman is on a media tour right now. Do you guys consider Arman a fan? Has Arman won over the fans? Has he completely won over all the fans? Because he's promoting himself better than the UFC can promote him. You know? I feel like Arman's doing the right things. I would just prefer they never offer Paddy another fight at all and he becomes forgotten. I hear you, but I think he needs to fight Hooker or Benoit. I think those are big fights. Just keep him on the fight nights then. Let's keep Paddy on the fight nights. You know? He can main event a fight night and fight Benoit or Hooker. I mean, you got to see France versus England, or you got to see Hooker versus Paddy because they hate each other, right? Or we can get Moicano a win. We could put Renato Moicano back on the horse, and we could book him against Paddy Pimblett. I just want to see Arman whoop someone's ass. You know Arman is fighting at RAF again? Real American Freestyle? He's versing that Giorgio guy, the take me down for $1,000 guy. I think Arman's definitely going to take him down. But I'm just thinking, like, damn, does the UFC not want to capitalize on Arman? He's just going to be wrestling forever. UFC has a superstar and they're just sidelining him. Man, I need to see Arman versus Ilia, you know. I got to stop saying it, but that's the fight. That's the fucking fight. A lot of people think Ilia's just going to move up to 170, though. So, you know, it's going to be interesting who Islam's next opponent is. Like, I made a video predicting it's going to be the next welterweight title fight will be Usman versus Islam Makhachev. I think they're going to give it to Usman. But I can also see a world where Ilia moves up to welterweight. Especially if I'm Jan. Piotr Jan? What about Piotr Jan? Or Max? Did I miss your message? Oh, yeah, I missed some messages here. Okay. Oh, my takedown defense is so good in UFC 5. I don't let crotch sniffers take me down, especially if I'm Jan or Max. Hey, they got good takedown for real as well. That's good. That's good. Keep it striking in the UFC game. I heard Arman is wrestling that wrestled me for $1,000 guy. Is that true? Yeah, he's fighting that George Polo guy or whatever his name is. Yeah. Yeah. That is smart. What up? What's going on? What's going on, everyone in chat who just joined? We're talking about the new lightweight star, Arman Tsarukyan. If so, that's smart. That is smart. I think RAF is pretty exciting. Did you guys watch the last RAF? I thought it was great, you know. I just think the wrestling rounds should be 3 minutes instead of 2 minutes. And I think the commentators, like Chael, need to explain why they blow the whistle so much. You know? Like the ref will stop the wrestling match, blow the whistle, and the commentators won't tell us why. But yeah, I like RAF. I wouldn't mind seeing Arman wrestle Colby. I wouldn't mind seeing Bo wrestle Colby. Arman's fighting George Polo or whatever his name is, though. Yeah. That was fun to watch. Colby dominated Luke. I know. Luke Rockhold is lost in every sport. I'm predicting it here first. The next league he's going to join, it's not a sport, but the next league he's going to join and lose in is Power Slap. I bet he joins Power Slap and gets knocked the fuck out. I mean, Perry beat him in bare knuckle. Colby beat him in wrestling. Darren Till beat him in boxing, knocked him out. I think Luke Rockhold lost against D-Rod or Nicky Rod or whatever in grappling and jiu-jitsu. Luke Rockhold's lost in every league. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, that was fun to watch. I like RAF. But I would say make the rounds 3 minutes instead of 2. And Chael Son, and tell me what's going on here when the ref is blowing the whistle and you know, they're resetting. Tell me what's going on. And when they score points, tell me why did they earn those points? Because not everyone is hip to wrestling. So we need the commentators to talk about what's going on the mats rather than, you know, their personal life. Talk about their personal life during the walkouts. I'm just going to KO this guy real quick while listening to your stream. We got middleweight. That's what's up. That's what's up. Whoever watched Paramount, I'm picking Strickland. Nice. Use that jab. Stick him with that jab. Whoever watched Paramount, did the ads bother anybody or no? Like, how important is it to you to see the walkouts and hear the cornering? I feel like for the main card, you should definitely show the walkouts and the cornering. You should show the cornering no matter what. And the walkouts. Put your advertisements in between. UFC 5, Strickland Hernandez. They shouldn't show ads during the main card. The ads didn't bother me. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't say the ads are bothersome. It's just like they're taking away the humanness of the fighter. Like, what if we missed Izzy's walkout? He had iconic walkouts, you know? Pereira with the bow. I mean, there's so many crazy walkouts. You know, it adds to their character. And we definitely need to see the corner work. You know, there's some MMA nerds that love hearing the cornerman. That's a big topic. The commentators talk about it, you know. We've even seen crazy stuff go on in the corner. Like the Joe Rogan ice thing. The Stoolgate, like with Yoel Romero or whatever, where he took an extra minute to recover. Things like that, yeah. But yeah, I get it. You got to have some ads, but let's get some more. Let's show the walkouts or the cornering. Pick one. It shouldn't just be, all right, here's the fight, and then nothing. Like, you know? Okay, if you can only see one, what would you rather see? The corner work between rounds, or the walkouts? If you could choose one, what would you rather see? What's more important for the fans and the viewers? I would probably say the walkouts, because I like to hear what walkout music fighters have. And it kind of hypes you up for the fight while they're walking out. You know? It's like, get ready, it's about to go down. But yeah. Maybe they could fix that, but I still think Paramount is way better than the pay-per-view model. No doubt. What else? Damn, I arm triangled him so easy. Ha! That's a great submission. I love that submission. I almost hit that submission today in real life. I hit a normal triangle today. Choke dude out. I was gonna say the oh yeah. What do we think of DC's commentary or DC? Did you guys watch the Justin Gaethje Daniel Cormier fiasco? What do you guys think about that? Like DC claiming everyone gets paid more because Paramount, and then Gaethje saying, nah, he's a liar. I don't feel bad for Gaethje. I'm sure he gets paid a lot, but I'm like, of course Daniel Cormier's lying again. Being a UFC company, man. You know, no one asked Cormier fighters getting paid more. He went out of his way and lied and said, everyone's getting paid more. I love darsing people in that game. I love the Darce choke. Wow, you must be good on the ground. Most people aren't good on the ground in UFC. In the game. He didn't know how to grapple. He melted. Yeah, most people aren't good on the ground. Wow. As long as you know how to break out of the subs, I mean, you got a joystick, right? Whatever line highlights, you have to joystick that direction. Damn, yeah. The people that take you down to the ground are the worst. Like, they're the toughest to beat. People can't fight out of submissions. It's crazy. I'd say that's most people's weakness. Everyone in the game just wants to slug it out. I'm good on the ground, but I can get better. My striking is the nasty part. Yeah. That's cool that everyone's in that game. Man. So yeah, I guess let's see here. I think Ali Abdelaziz is making out like a bandit here. I mean, think about it. If Justin Gaethje gets a title fight against Ilia, and Kamaru Usman gets a title fight against Islam, which is they're all Ali's clients. And then on top of that, isn't Ali managing Kayla Harrison as well? Just off the top of my head, Ali Abdelaziz has 4 of his fighters or clients fighting for a title potentially. That's crazy. You know, I think Ali Abdelaziz is behind it. When Dana said, we offered Gaethje more money, but he didn't answer. I was like, what? Does that mean Ali Abdelaziz turned down more money for Gaethje? Oh yeah, let me check my messages here. Sometimes I miss them on the PC. I can only see them on the phone. Let's see here. Let's see here. Kenny wants to get... Who's Kenny? Kenny wants to get diddled by Izzy. What? Someone just said Kenny wants to get diddled by Izzy. Kenny? Is that Joe Pyfer? Or who the fuck's Kenny? There's like serious levels in grappling that game. Some people are just too good at it. I know. As long as there's a fighting chance to break out of the subs, you know? The worst is when they mount you and they're ground and pounding like crazy and you're just stuck there. And you get TKO'd on the ground. Alright, speaking of Izzy, Joe Pyfer or Izzy, that's a tough one to call. You know, that's a tough one to call. I'm surprised they're not putting Izzy on a numbered event. Let me look at this card. So far in the Izzy versus Pyfer card, we got Izzy versus Pyfer and Grasso versus Barber. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, I'm thinking the biggest fights that are posted right now is Strickland Fluffy, Max Charles. That's a decent card. I mean, you got Ortega Moicano, Kyle Bahail versus RDR, RoboCop versus Bruno Ferreira, Cody Garbrandt on there, Rob Font versus Chiwiwiwi. Huh, okay. Let's see. Are they still adding more fights to this? 4, 5. How many fights they got on here? 1, 2. Okay. What do you guys think of UFC 326? I think it's a little better than 325, to be honest. I think it's an alright card. There's some fights there. I think it's better than 325. Interesting. I wonder how many Aussies can pull it off on 325. I mean, there's going to be some Aussies that lose. I think the Aussie that loses is for sure Dan Hooker. You know? Quillan Saul killed seems like a lock. Benoit seems like a lock. Then we got some, you know, hard fights to choose. Volk, Lopes. Yeah, a lot of hard fights to predict coming up here. A lot of hard fights to predict. But I think we all agree Max Holloway on UFC 326. I think we're all picking him to beat Charles. Maybe not everybody, but style-wise, I think Max pieces him up a little bit. Max still got it. Let's see here. Let's see. I think, speaking of RAF, I think it might be possible that Daniel Cormier faces John Jones at RAF. What do you guys think about that? DC versus John Jones at RAF. That might do huge numbers. That could do huge numbers. The only... RAF is awesome. The only problem with RAF is I believe one of the owners is that Izzy style wrestling guy, and he's best friends with Jones. So I don't think you're allowed to talk shit about John Jones at the RAF press conferences because one of the owners is John Jones's friend. But yeah, I would like to see DC versus Jones at RAF wrestling. I don't know who would win that one. You know, I want to see Habib. I want to see Habib do it. He's retired. Why doesn't Habib why doesn't he face GSP at RAF? That'd be crazy. Yo, that'd be insane. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, I think they could book it. I think if they book the right matchups, I think they can get that thing rolling. You think Habib would? No. Nope. He probably doesn't want to ruin his reputation of being this mauler on the ground. I think some people could beat him in RAF. I think Habib's grappling is mostly just good in MMA. But I would love to see it. I would love to see it. And if DC faced Jones, I don't even know who I would root for. You know, we found out they're both not so good guys. You know? I don't know. I don't think I'd root for anyone. May the best man win, but yeah, I'll just watch for the entertainment. All right, before I dip out, any final thoughts on DC? Any final thoughts on DC? I just feel like he's been the topic of discussion on my channel recently. You know? Are people... I'm getting the vibe in the MMA world. People are fed up with Cormier. His fakeness, his behind-the-scenes dirty deeds. Him and Lauren Sanko, like, just not talking about fighting. Just, you know? DC can't even remember fighters' names after the interviews. I don't know. I feel like the topic of discussion on my channel this past week has been about Daniel Cormier. DC stole my campfire and pushed my grandma. See? Exactly. He does things like that. I'm sorry about that. Terribly sorry DC did that to you. That is crazy. You know, the things I've been hearing about DC lately. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, I personally don't think DC's a good guy. I just made a video on it. But a lot of the MMA world is convinced that, you know, he is. But wow, I mean, he pushed that little girl down. I made a video on it. He pushed down a little girl who, what the fuck? And then, here's some other pansy shit. He holds his son back a grade so his son can be the oldest and win all the wrestling matches. What kind of pussy shit is that? Holding his son back a couple grades or a grade just so his son can be bigger and older and stronger than the rest of the wrestlers? That's weak. That's weak shit. Weak. I guess that's what happens when you're all about that cake and chicken. It's all about that cake and chicken, I guess. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We're going to be streaming a lot more. There's going to be more UFC drama going on. But yeah, I think we covered it all. Paddy Pimblett turned into a smash burger. He got turned into mincemeat. I wish it was Arman that did that. You're entertaining as fuck, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm guessing you like, what do you like better, the live streams or the regular YouTube videos? I feel like, Nathan, you're more of a live stream fan. Like you like the live streams more. You like the engagement more. And then there's clearly other people that like, you know, the normal YouTube videos more, like the pre-recorded. But I could tell, yeah, Nathan, you mess with the live streams for sure. So I'm going to keep it up. Appreciate it. But yeah, we call Arman's on a tear. They're both good, but you can chat in streams. True, true. Exactly. It's more of a vibe sometimes. More of a vibe. Arman, I mean, what's he going to do next? This guy is promoting himself. That's how you got to do it. What else we got here? Gaethje, he's in no man's land. He's good enough to beat Paddy, not good enough to beat Ilia. What do you do with him? I am super happy with my DC video I dropped. I mean, it's my most viewed video yet. I did not know that many people agree with me on that topic. Check it out if you haven't seen it. You're picking Max Holloway, right? Over DuBronx? I am. I think it'll be a good one. I think Charles has some advantages, but this is Max's fight to win. This is Max's fight to win. I'm definitely favoring Max. No bias. I want Max to win, but I no bias. I'm picking him to win. If I had to bet on it, I'm picking Max. So I can't wait to see the odds on that fight. I think the odds are going to be super close. I don't know what they are. What are they? I have no idea, but since I think Max is winning, I'm imagining they're going to make Max the favorite. You know? And as far as the featherweight division goes, since we have a featherweight title fight going on this weekend, if I was matchmaker, you know, Max is too fucking gifted. He's going to win for sure. He's so good. But Charles is good. It's such a good fight. It's such a good fight. But Max's takedown defense is so good. I don't think Charles is getting him down for more than a second. But if I was... So we have a featherweight title fight. If I had to match make the featherweight division... like right now with the contenders, I'm having the number one contender, two number one contender fights. The first one being Lerone Murphy versus Masvidal in London. I think they're having a fight night London. If Murphy wins or Masvidal gets a good job impressively, they get a title fight. But I would do Gene Silva versus Aljamain Sterling because Gene Silva can make an Aljo fight entertaining. If Aljo fights anyone else, it might be boring. We might as well put Aljo to good use and make him against the most exciting fighter. And Yair Rodriguez has been ducking and dodging everybody. He deserves to fight down. And Arnold Allen deserves to fight up. I want to see a good striking match. Arnold Allen versus Yair Rodriguez. Thoughts on T-City? Ortega pulling out a Moicano fight. He did? What? I didn't have a thought on it. I didn't know about that. It's on the UFC website. What? One of the fighters of the co-main event pulled up. He's moving up a weight class. How is he pulling out? What? Brian Ortega withdraws from Moicano fight? UFC 326 on my birthday weekend? Oh, Brian Ortega's trying to ruin my birthday weekend, huh? Well, hold up. Wait, why? Let's see why. What's the reason this time? What is going on here? At least this isn't a last-second pullout. Nothing's worse than a last-minute UFC fight cancellation. Brian Ortega's out. Why? They're planning on putting Tom Nolan in there against Moicano. Tom Nolan's good, but he's an Aussie. He should be on this card. Why isn't Tom Nolan on the Australian card? It makes no fucking sense. Why wouldn't you put Tom Nolan on this card? Why would you put him on what, a Vegas card? I know Ortega had weight issues. What's going on this time? I just want to know why he pulled out. Then I'll find a replacement for Moicano. He always pulls out of fights, doesn't he? Why is Ortega out? What? He's too busy going to these fucking award shows with Tracy Cortez. Wow. Yeah, Brian pulled out. Brian was going to arm triangle him too. I'm gutted. That was slick matchmaking. That's wild. Yeah, that is. I mean, what, Brian Ortega, he has the energy to go out with Tracy Cortez. Found you another topic to cover on the stream, Ortega. Yeah, I mean, maybe he has a date with Tracy Cortez that day. I don't know. Interesting. Why? There's probably no reason that he's out. He hasn't given a reason. What the fuck is he doing? Just call it quits then. You know what? You know what? Maybe Brian Ortega's just pulling out so we can get a Paddy Pimblett fight when Paddy's ready. I'd watch it, but all right, we'll give Moicano a new opponent. We'll give Moicano a new opponent. They're talking Tom Nolan. That could be an option, but he's not a well-known name yet. But it makes sense. They want to feed Moicano to a younger prospect. I get it. I get it. All right. That is a bummer, though. At least it's not a last-second fight cancellation. And they can repair it. But yeah, man. That was a good fight. Because Ortega's a name, right? He's a name. If that's the case, they got to add one more good fight then to this card. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if Rob Font versus Chiwiwiwi deserves to be on the main card. I like that fight, but I'm sure we could find one more good banger fight on the main card of UFC 326. My birthday weekend. There's always good fights in March. March always has good numbered events, right? Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even hear about that Brian Ortega thing. There's not even a real reason. He didn't even give a reason why he pulled out of the fight. Interesting. Okay. I was actually surprised they made that fight in the first place because they usually don't have two long-time UFC fighters fight each other. They usually feed them to the young, hungry contender. They usually feed them to the slaughter. And yeah, I'm a fan of like a Moicano Ortega matchup. Two guys, similar age, both Both have been around, same stage in their career, right? Probably never going to be champ. Both fought for belts and failed. Ortega gave the champs a better run for their money. Interesting. Too bad we never really got to see Ortega at lightweight. That's kind of disappointing. Before Ortega calls it quits, you know, I wish we got to see him at lightweight. Cause up a storm there. Just a few years ago, I wanted to see Ortega versus Charles. I did, you know? Interesting. Okay. Well, it's looking like it's going to be Tom Nolan filling in for Moicano. He's an Australian striker. He's pretty good. Okay. All right, guys. Well, it's been real. Thanks for joining the chat, Nathan. Thank you. Shout out to everyone who joined the chat and subscribed. John Dong was in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. Drizzy Go. And shout out to Atlanta. We had Atlanta in the house this time. We had Canada, Atlanta. I don't know where the rest of you guys are from, but next stream, drop in the comments where you're from, you know? We'll have a fucking worldwide takeover going on in the chat. Maybe I'm definitely streaming for the fights on Saturday, so you take care, bro. We'll be there for the 325 stream. Sweet. All right, it'll be a party then. See you guys for the watch party. Peace out, guys.